What's up YouTube, Capital G here. So this definitely came out of nowhere and I was incredibly surprised. Looks like Time Lords are actually going to be getting a synchro monster of all things. I know it's just incredibly strange to me. This is actually going to be the promo for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V Volume 6 manga. You get that manga, you're going to end up getting a copy of this new Time Lord synchro monster. The reason that I say it's strange, and yes, I do understand that they were in the 5Ds anime and technically they're a 5Ds archetype, but it just doesn't seem like the Time Lord's deck is really suited to summon any extra deck mechanic, because, you know, it'd be one thing if like Time Maiden was a tuner herself, she's level 1, like, okay, that can kind of make sense, but the monsters tag themselves back into the deck, so they don't generally stay on the field that long for you to ever, you know, I guess accrue the resources needed to special summon extra deck monsters, whether it be Xyz or Link or whatever. So really weird that they're getting a synchro monster, but I guess here it is. Anyways, this is Volgate, the Time Lord progenitor, and it's a dark fairy monster, synchro of course, level 10, 0 attack, 0 defense. I think its level plus its stat line was kind of predictable. A lot of the Time Lords, you know, they have these massive levels and they don't really do battle damage, so their stats aren't really that important. Now it is generic, it's just one tuner plus one or more non-tuner monsters, so if you've ever made something like Leo in the past, then you should be able to make this. You don't generally see a lot of level 10s. 10 is just kind of been an obscure number when it comes to synchro summoning, because the level 10 pool is just not all that deep. Effect number 1 cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Also, you take no battle damage from battles involving it. This was to be expected in my opinion. A lot of the Time Lord monsters operate like this. They give themselves a decent level of protection. And since this card does have 0 attack, you wouldn't want your opponent crashing one of their big monsters into it. That definitely wouldn't be a lot of fun. Also, a lot of these Time Lord monsters that have low attacks, you tend to crash them into your opponent's bigger monsters, or really just to any of their monsters. They're making sure that you're never really punished by that. You're never taking battle damage, whether your opponent is attacking you or you're attacking them. Second effect, if this card was special summoned from the extra deck at the end of the damage step that this card battled, you can banish all monsters your opponent controls. Also, have all battle damage your opponent takes for the rest of the turn. I'm going to talk about the third effect before I cover the second, because they kind of work in conjunction. Once per turn, at the end of the turn that this card's second effect was activated, special summon as many of the monsters banished by this card's effect as possible to your opponent's field. That third effect, man, that is so effing counterproductive. I don't really understand why Konami built that into the card. Don't get me wrong, I love the second effect. I love the fact that this can, by the way, this second effect can activate during either player's turn. If your opponent is just dumb and they attack into this, you can actually activate the effect. But I like the fact that you can banish all your opponent's monsters. That's fantastic. That is absolutely nuts. Non-targeting removal is always good in Yu-Gi-Oh! Being able to banish monsters, whether they're face up, face down, is really good. The only real benefit that I can see, and I'm talking about like permanent advantage gain, because you're putting your opponent's monsters right back on the board during like the end phase, which doesn't really make any sense. I guess if your opponent has like an Xyz monster, they will lose the materials permanently, and you know, maybe they don't have room to summon them because, I don't know, maybe you do something crazy like Ojama Trio and you end up locking them out of their monsters. That would be kind of interesting, but overall, it just feels like way too much work, because I kind of understand maybe what Konami was going for. Maybe they want a situation where you activate this card's effect, you banish all your opponent's monsters, and then you're trying to swing for game with all the rest of your monsters. The problem is you only do half battle damage, so how the fuck are you going to OTK your opponent? You know how much battle damage you need to OTK if you're only doing half battle damage? Like, that's probably not going to happen, and giving your opponents all their monsters back during the end phase means that it's really just a minor inconvenience. I mean, yeah, attacking directly becomes a lot easier at that point, but overall, this card feels like it's way too much work than it's actually worth, and I don't know, it feels like it's kind of a wasted opportunity. I don't think that this card needed the third effect at all. It's not like people are dropping level 10 synchro monsters right and left. I think the only solace here, and I could be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure that I'm not, is that if you get this card off the field in maybe your main phase 2, let's just say that you link summon it away, your opponent's monsters are not going to be coming back, because this card should have to still be face up on the field to actually activate that effect in the end phase. phase, that's probably how most people are going to use this. Let's just say best case scenario, you attack your opponent, you banish 5 of their monsters. You're probably better off just link summoning so that you just get rid of your opponent's monsters permanently. Yeah, you lose your synchro for a link that's probably not as powerful, but honestly, if it means your opponent not getting their monsters back, I'm definitely down with that. But honestly, this card would have been a heck of a lot better if that third effect just didn't make the second effect kind of pointless. But whatever you guys think, leave it in the comment section below. I actually think that this card's kind of weird because I'm not sure that there's really a home for this card. I mean, it's not going to be in Time Lords. What deck do you guys think could actually use this card? Should it, or that should invest all of those resources for a banish effect that's really only temporary? I mean, it's nice that it works during both players' turns, but again, it's only temporary, and I'm not digging that. Anyways, whatever you guys think, leave it in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already, and turn on that notification bell for daily videos.